of love beneath the moon's sweet glow. He's here to guide you through the undertow. From tales of love lost and battles won, to secrets that hide when the day is done. We'll paint the night with stories so stark. Welcome to Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark. The lawyer's voice is smooth like leather. He sings lies only he can tether. In the sultry jazz lounge, let the wisdom flow. Feel the rhythm in the late night glow. Through custody tangles and alimony strife, he navigates the drama of everyday life. With a wry wink and a cheeky remark, let's unravel Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into Family Law After Dark.
Good evening, folks. This is Omar Surrender with the Tilted Lawyer podcast. I'm joined by Brad, the IT guy, and Anita, the internet sleuth. World famous now. I understand that Anita's kind of taken off in the social media world. She has an ex. I think, well, what else do you have, Anita, going on for you right now?
Just X right now and YouTube, but I have been actually scared to post on YouTube because of how violent they have been, and I'm glad I didn't. Now I'm gonna wait for her subpoenas to go away, and then I'll start posting.
Oh,
So
you might have ended up with a subpoena. I mean,
I
and
was-
sent them communications about nothing at all.
No, it's just like I have too much shit going on. Can't
Oh.
handle.
I understand. How you been, Brad? How's your YouTube channel going?
My YouTube channel? Not great.
Oh, well, that's because you never post anything, sir.
I know.
Got disenchanted with it and all. But there was a time where he was rocking and rolling over there with like cooking shows and stuff.
Yeah, I was burning the candle at both ends, as it were, and
that's what she said. So, at some point, we're going to be joined by Lauren Knighty. She's doing a live right now on the Lively situation. And just so you are aware, spoiler alert, it's really nothing to write home about. It's emotion about depositions. In my opinion, it's not worth worrying about, but she's doing her thing. And when she's done doing that, she's going to be in over here. But in the meantime, we have some cases that I wanted to go over with you guys. And just so I make sure that I don't share any personal information, I'm going to put this in a Word document and then I'm going to share it. We have a user submission.
Oh.
And I'm going to go over this user submission from one of the listeners of this show. And we're going to offer our thoughts on it as soon as I figure out how to share my screen. I don't know what I did.
How in the world?
No, I cascaded the windows somehow, and now I'm trying to undo it. All right. Where's the present button is now the plus. I get it.
But it's the same icon that it always is, but they removed the lettering underneath.
That is such a, I hate that. I like reading the word. Okay. So first case of the day, we're just going to get right into it. This was her personal submission. Let me try to make it a little bit bigger for the people in the back. She begins with one person's definition of for better or for worse means not giving up when things get hard. Marriage requires perseverance and effort by both partners to actively try to overcome life's curveballs together. But what if life throws you the truly unexpected? The caveat to this is, not the caveat, but this involves a couple that have been married for a number of years. Tragedy struck, and she's been dealing with the aftermath. And this is her reaching out to try to gain some, not really guidance, just perspective. Because ultimately, I feel like when you've been married for so many years, Nita, how long have you been married for?
It'll be 2 years, but we've been together for 7.
Oh, that ain't nothing. But 2 years, you're still basically newlyweds. When you've been married for like 10 years,
me and my wife are pushing a decade. So.
We've lived together for 5 years. Like that, isn't that marriage? Like, what is the difference between marriage?
Common law marriage.
Yeah, but I always joke that the only difference for us is like we have a prenup on everything. It's just like if one of us dies, the other one inherits the other stuff. That's the only difference in our, how to say.
Why would you put that in a prenup?
No, that's not a prenup. I'm just saying that we have a prenup. So even if anything happens, right?
Okay.
Everything is separate as it is. And the only difference in the eye of the law is that if he dies, he takes my shit. If I die sooner, I take his shit. But besides that, everything is quite separate.
That's like what happened in White Lotus. That lady, she died, and he inherited $500 million. If you don't watch that show,
never
give
seen
it a
it.
try.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, I've watched all 3 seasons. It's probably the gayest show that I watch. But it's really good, man. It's a good watch if you have the time.
I love that the gay is coming back, using it. Just
the gay?
Yeah, I love that. Like when things were innocent and people just meant it because things were gay and it was happy.
Sometimes things are gay and it's okay, man. It was in the Flintstone song. We're going to have a gay old time. And it was no big deal back then. I don't understand why it had to become this derogatory thing. But to answer your larger overarching question, what's the difference between being married for 2 years and being married for 10 years? And the answer to that is, I don't know if you've ever been asked to write an impromptu story over and over again on the same subject. And so like I gave my daughter this writing assignment when she was younger. I'd be like, tell me a story about a little girl that gets lost in the woods. And she'd have to write 200 words about the story, beginning, middle, end, and the whole thing. And then the task was, how many different versions of the same story could she come up with? And then after, the first couple were kind of fun. After 5, it became burdensome, tiresome. She got tired of it. And by the time we got to like the 10th iteration, she's like, could we just do something else? And it's not that she couldn't go through the physical exercise of doing it. She's just done it already. And she's sick and tired of doing it. And she's run into these mental blocks based on certain issues. The problem is when you're married for an extended period of time, you start to develop calluses in your soul that make way to your marriage that could impede progress in your marriage going forward. That's what I would say is the biggest difference between a 2-year and a 10-year relationship. It's really not much different other than time. And that the 10-year marriage has been doing it 5 times longer than you. And they, if they're not healthy, have had it up to the gills with their partner's bullshit. If it's a bad marriage, it's really bad at 10 years. If at 2 years you're annoyed, by year 10, you are ready to go off the deep end, you know? Um,
Ob- Objection, relevance, just like what? Because that's not what I was saying. I see what you're saying.
oh,
I said that we've lived for 5 years. Like
mm,
it's like being married for 5 years
yeah.
already. Because we've like
Um,
so more, but yeah, and we don't have kids, so I cannot say. I'm sure it's
oh
gonna
yeah.
change once we have kids.
Well, when you do,
I'll
when you
get
do,
back on
come back and
flat.
check in. Yeah, come back on that and tell us
I
how it's going.
probably won't have time, but
Yeah, no. When I was, before when I was dating my wife, completely different dating her than being married. Like when we were dating, I could just send her home. You know what I mean? Like you'd go on a date and then we'd hang out
that was
and then
the
she would leave.
benefit.
Yeah. And then like even when we were like living together, there's something different. There's just some kind of mental shift that occurs between going from living together, oh, we're sort of like we're married because we're living together, and actually being married. It's just a different. I can't explain why it's psychologically different. I can
Because
only
it's
tell you.
harder to separate, because you know that if you need to break up, you need to divorce. So that's like
Oh
a
yeah,
little obstacle. It's like a make you
right.
question it.
You go through and you climb this big mountain of marriage, and you decide to take vows, and you have this big celebration. You invite friends and family, and now everybody's involved, and now you guys are basically related. You share last names if you guys are still doing that thing. You decide to start families. Your families are entangled. When you're dating, there is no that kind of entanglement, not to that level, not to that degree. And so it's just, you're right. It's a deeper level of commitment that takes some getting used to. If you've made it to the 2-year mark without issue, then you're good and you're doing great. And you're going to continue to do great probably until, the next big hurdle would be children, wouldn't it be? And so when
Yeah.
that happens, just check back in. I'm sure everything's all great now. It's basically honeymoon phase right now, even if I understand the 7-year thing.
Oh yeah, we're on our 7-year. Have you heard about the 7-year itch?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the Maryland
It
Monroe.
has. We've been itching a little bit.
Oh,
No, not in a bad way. It's just like when I guess you have a routine and everything set. You
Yeah.
just know each other so well. The other person doesn't need to talk. And to be
Yeah.
fair, we're going through renovations right now, so I guess this is war. This is war zone right now.
Oh
But
gosh.
it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The 7-year itch doesn't have to mean sexual, Brad. Sick
Oh.
pervert.
Oh no, I
well, I
thought
hear
like
there's a pill for that, but
what 7-year itch has a sexual connotation. I thought it was like you're more like
It-
getting on each other's nerves.
It depends on
no,
if you ask
it
a man or a
can.
woman.
Oh, that's the context I was trying to relay. Sex is all
Yeah.
good. Don't you guys worry.
Oh, I'm not worried. I was not. I was not. Brad is the one.
Why
Anyway,
am I worried about her sex life?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh
I
wow.
gotta pick on somebody, and Brad's the only one that
Is
I could pick on
Lauren
right now.
backstage, by the way?
Is she? I didn't hear a noise. I didn't hear a
Because she's
ping.
in.
She was in
she was
private
in the
chat,
chat.
or she was in
Oh.
chat.
Just if she happens to come backstage, don't let me forget. She's probably going to be in a couple minutes. Anyway, getting back to this case. Let me get back in it. All right. All right. So, life's curveballs. But what if life throws you the truly unexpected? So, when can you say enough is enough? Can it be accepted? Can it be forgiven? You tell me when enough is enough. So, I've been married for over a decade, have 3 very young children. My husband had a brain aneurysm rupture a couple years ago, right after our youngest was born, that ultimately ended in multiple brain surgeries over the course of several months. Due to an infection in the brain resulting from the first 2 surgeries over the course of several months. Oh, it was almost a full year from the initial rupture of ongoing medical care, surgeries, recovery, getting back to full health on the outside. The inside of his brain, however, would never be the same. His personality changed. His ability to think logically was compromised, as well as his impulsivity and temperament. He became a different person overnight. And although I was thankful my children still had their father as time passed, I realized how hard life from here on out was going to be. For him, the deficits from the surgeries turned into anger, frustration, aggressiveness, unwilling to compromise, verbal and physical abuse. Oh, and let's not forget about the alcohol abuse, alcohol that he shouldn't be consuming while taking the medicines he is. The family, yes. Brad?
What?
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
No, I said the medicines he is on.
Oh, my family knows nothing about it. They see him as this miracle, and I'm expected to continue my ongoing role as his caregiver and wife, helping him when he needs help writing and reading, making sure he takes his medicine day and night. The list is endless. His family, however, does not know about the bad. I was forced to beg for help, and my husband's father laughed in my face and said that he was my problem because we were married. His mother stayed quiet. For clarification, he does not abuse our children, only me, when they go to bed or if they're not paying attention. It's worse when he drinks heavily, so I've learned to drown myself in work and stay away in the home until he falls asleep. We have not shared a room since his surgeries. There's no sexual connection anymore, only tension and taking things one day at a time. I try and keep calm in front of the kids when he says something horrible. I try to show understanding and patience with him. Lord knows I'm not perfect, but I try my effing hardest to keep my kids from further trauma. We've tried couples counseling. He lost his temper with our therapist when our therapist was trying to get my husband to see reason and take accountability. So my question is, when will it be enough? When, if this is the worst in the vows we took and I can't handle it? What if this is what my life will look like and it only gets worse over the next 40 years? Nobody knows what goes on inside a marriage. They only see the outside. And if I leave, I know I'll look bad because of his recent medical history. I'm not ready to blast him as the bad guy, though. That's not who I am, but I do want to be happy again. Is that the only way to break free and be happy? Turn him into a monster in everyone's eyes with the truth, or keep it hidden and I face the judgment of our community and families? Why is life so cruel? So I have a lot to say about this one. What do you guys think?
It's very difficult.
I'm gonna let it marinate because this person might be listening.
In the chat.
So, yeah, or, yeah. But I mean, I do have opinions and thoughts, but I'm just gonna let it sink in so that I can give my honest opinion. So,
well, it's a lot to digest.
There is a lot to digest, and she's right in trying to balance the commitments that she made at the start of a marriage, but then understanding that a person after an aneurysm or a stroke may not understand or remember the intentions when they gave the vows. And the fact that there's physical abuse at hand, that leads me to believe that at the moment of physical abuse, it really becomes an issue of if you're receiving ongoing abuse and you've gone to counseling, then you need to take your children and yourself and get into a healthy situation.
Yeah.
Because regardless of your feelings for him, it's not good for you. And while he's not physical with the children, that doesn't mean that he won't be. And taking care of yourself will only make your situation and your ability to cope with certain things better in the beginning. It's not going to be easy, but it is going to be a path for being in a better spot.
Yeah. Go ahead, Anita.
I would like to add to that. This is my personal opinion or how I view. When you are vowing to be or till death do us apart, or for better or for worse, does that mean, oh, a worst part is when you're abusing me, it's just the worst part? I think people are putting that, or like, I don't know, elder generations or tradition, I don't even know. This is not the thing in my family. but that is a boundary. That's like a red line. That's not for better or for worse.
Yeah.
That is for better or for worse is when you're respecting each other. For better or for worse is when you're there for each other as team. But once a person is a threat to your existence, that is not a worse. So, and it starts, he's not there yet to abuse the kids, and they're young maybe. You never know.
Yeah.
And sometimes emotional abuse can have much harsher damages than physical in kids, what they observe. So for her sake, her sake first, and after her kids' sake, because the kids still need to have a healthy mother, I would say get out, and people are always going to say good or bad things regardless. People will always talk. People will always hate.
But they're not the ones
And
living through it, you know?
and yeah, and she can still be supportive of him if he decides to change, but this is not a marriage anymore. This is like a hostage situation.
Yeah. And the fact that the family is reacting, it was striking to read that dad says, he laughs at her and says, well, he's your problem now. You married him. So that's not helping anything. You know, you say,
That
better
phrasing, though, is still weird because that leads you to believe that his father had some kind of foreknowledge of this personality type. And it seems like his father is glad to be rid of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe he did. Or maybe, you know, who knows what that is. But the fact that they're basically not offering any kind of a help whatsoever, they're exacerbating the situation by just putting it all completely on her, expecting her to put up with whatever abuse. Let's just say that, yeah, maybe he knows something about his personality that's always been there, and now she's just discovering, what was your problem now? That's shitty. And so look, for better or for worse, yeah, but there are some assumptions when you take those vows. It's not like you're not sacrificing your life for somebody that's going to harm you. Like Chris Benoit, 2007, WWE wrestler, has CTE basically, and his entire personality changed. He was not the same person that young lady married. He was not the same person that was the father of that child when he was born. He turned into something completely different, a monster, and he ends up unaliving his wife and his child, and then himself. Junior Seau did the same thing. There's lots of cases with people with head injuries that their personalities have been forever changed, forever altered. And now the people that are living with them are in peril. There's nothing in the vows that suggests that you should allow yourself to be unalived, because the person that you married, look, it might be a tragic event. It might not be fair, and life might be cruel. But if he's not the same guy that you married and he's something else, you didn't sign up for that. And your vows do not beholden you to sacrifice your life and potentially your child's life or your children's life for the sake of whoever this guy turned into. And you know what? Maybe it's not his fault, but I'm not God and I can't pass judgment on anybody. And so whether or not he should be absolved of whatever he's doing now, since his personality changes between him and his God, but it's not between you and him. And your number one priority, honestly, should be to get the hell out of there, because it feels like you and your children's well-being depend on it. Like right now, things are one thing. What's it going to be like next year? What's it going to be like 3 years from now? How much longer do you think you could take on this abusive cycle? Because your psyche plays a role in all of this. At what point do you feel cornered to the point where you have to defend yourself and you get attacked and somebody acts, something tragic happens? Next thing you know, it's a criminal case and you're fighting for your freedom and your child is being raised by CPS somewhere, or potentially his family that doesn't appear to be the best candidates to raise anybody. There's lots of roads that lead to perdition here. And so right now, while things are relatively safe, I don't know how old this lady is, but she ain't getting any younger. And it feels like she's already made up her mind that she knows that she has to get out. The longer that she keeps herself in this prison, the more it's going to feel like she's trapped. And at some point, push is going to come to shove, and something bad is going to happen. Whether that means just like a DV incident where she's injured, or her children are injured, or something much more nefarious is anybody's guess. But it's not worth sticking around to find out. I think at this point, the person that you married is gone. And it doesn't appear like he's coming back. And I'm not a doctor. I don't know the nature of his head injury. But to the extent that he's been forever altered, you didn't sign up for that. And your vows have been fulfilled. And now your responsibility is to your children and yourself. Because of the two of you, you and your husband, you're the only person that has capacity to watch those children full time. Therefore, their future, their upbringing, their childhood, their safety, perhaps, hinges on you. He hasn't done anything to children just yet, has he? But what about when he does? Alcohol abuse has a deteriorating effect on your soul. So for right now, the violence and the mental abuse, the psychological abuse, the physical abuse is limited to you. At some point, with continued alcohol abuse, that is bound to change. Alcohol that he shouldn't be consuming while he's taking his medicines. You're asking for a tragic event. There's really no justification for staying in a situation like that. And look, I'm sure his family is going to have things to say about it. Maybe your family is going to have things to say about it, but they're not the ones that are going to be raising your kids. They're not the ones that are going to be there when the next violent episode occurs to keep you safe. And so let them talk.
Yeah, and this is like not to be going on this like very, what are this like very overly used phrases, but it's like generational, right? It can impact the kids, and sometimes some kids see violence and then they become avert to it, and some people see it's normal, and this like it has such a generational impact that you don't even see it happening. And also I sense that this woman is ready to leave. She just doesn't trust herself that she can do it, like with the young kids and everything. I can imagine that, but trust me, I don't have kids, but from what I've seen, I've heard, I've witnessed over and over again, it's better to be safe and hungry and go through the hard time than live in fear for yourself and for the kids. And you will always you will learn to trust yourself. To me, it sounds like she doesn't trust that she will be able to do this. It's not even about just the image.
Fuck all of that. It's not about whether or not she can. It's about she has to. Look, if this fucking guy, it's not about who gives a shit about the sexual connection. If the guy can't keep his temper in front of a therapist, imagine what he's doing to her behind closed doors. She needs to get the fuck out of there. And look, maybe it's not this guy's fault. Maybe he's not a bad person. That's not for me to judge. She needs to prioritize her safety because her children's lives depend on it. And to me, there's really only one answer, and there's not really an alternative. I'm not willing to play devil's advocate. Look, sucks for the guy. But he'll be fine. You need to make sure that you're fine and get out of this bad situation.
And read this chat. Look at how many women have gone through it. They're typing their stories. So while you might feel alone, you're not alone. You can see there's so many stories. You should empower yourself and just pull off the band-aid. It's gonna hurt, but the pain or the things she's going through right now is so much more. I feel like it's tormenting herself way more than it's better to have like a 1 year of a really bad year than having 5-6 years of torture, if not 5-6 years minimum. So
By the way, what's up, Rob?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Joining us all late on a Friday night. You just missed
Hi,
a
Rob.
really heart
Deep and
wrenching.
emotional story.
Yeah.
No, I've been listening, and I want her to realize that she will need therapy to get through this, because there's going to be a lot of guilt on her part, right? She's going to feel guilty to leave him, to take the kids away from him because of the situation with the brain surgery and how he's acting behind closed doors. So I know how that feels. So I think she needs to address that, and that could be her why she's not moving forward yet, because of the guilt she may be feeling if she does move on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why we're encouraging her that guilt is supposed to, like, sometimes your brain is your enemy. Your thoughts are your enemy, not sometimes. It's
Right.
something that she's used to, but it's better to eat bread and butter for a month with pasta and feel like your kids are safe.
Hey, if you need tips on how to feed yourself on $20 a month, I was once in college. I'm pretty good.
20
at
a
it.
month?
I mean, back then.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I lived
Like
on
$100 a month, you could feed yourself pretty well if you do
I
it right.
stretched 50 euros with pasta
Yeah.
and baguette
Lots of
with
pasta,
olive
lots of
oil and
rice.
balsamic when I was in Italy.
Yep. Lots of olive oil, lots of herbs.
A
yeah.
six-pack of ramen is $1.20 now.
You will gain weight temporarily, but then your body will get used to the carbs, and carbs will and then you'll start losing weight. Just a heads up.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to do a lot of cardio. Just you're gonna have to use them carbs up, otherwise you will gain weight for sure. Anyway, I sent Lauren a link. We're waiting on her, but we're gonna get on to our next case. To the person that sent that submission.
Omar, I wanted to join because I didn't want you to be one guy to two girls. Sorry, Brad.
Damn!
Oh.
Brad's
Talk
over
about the
here catching
disrespect over here. Catch a disgrace.
yeah. Let me share my screen so we get to our next one. This new format is throwing me off, man. I don't like it. I like the words. I need the words. All right.
StreamYard updated, yeah.
Here we go. To all men experiencing divorce, use it or not. What is he talking about? So, gents, this guy's already a douchebag. I already don't like him. I don't like him. Anybody that says gents like that is a douchebag.
Omar, I took notes of Bruce saying, number one, Omar, go back to reading the script. And two, stop making assumptions, speculations without knowing information.
Well, sometimes assumptions are half the battle and half the fun, at the very least. All right,
I'll interject here and there.
let's see where we go with this. It says, I was divorced. I had my heart ripped out, and I suffered the indignity of it all. To be fair to all of you, this was some 10 years ago. I've since recovered. I wish to give you guys some advice, such as I am able to, given my experience in doing so. Please accept that I remember how painful it is. Wait a minute. Oh, I thought I heard a.
Someone's Discord was popping off.
Yeah, someone's got Discord on. That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah, I just sorry.
God damn it, Rob. Of course it would be Rob. All right. In doing so, please accept that I remember how painful it was in the beginning, and to the guys who are currently riding the emotional roller coaster, good luck. It's never easy the first 1,000 days. I'm in my 50s. I was married at 24 and was married for 17 years. Wait a minute. I guess that tracks. There's only one rule in dealing with the emotional impact of a divorce, is that time will heal you. Yes, I didn't believe it either. Trust me, it's true. Anyone can preach to you about how you were right and she was wrong. You may even be justified in feeling hard done by perhaps she cheated. In the end, none of that matters, and I'll explain why. If you are getting divorced, please know that nothing anyone can say right now will help you. Anita, do you think I was correct in my assumption that this guy's a douchebag? I feel like I was right.
I'm not there yet.
Okay. I've been there for like since paragraph 1.
It sounds like it's a woman writing it, not a man.
Yeah. I feel like he's.
Oh, who's making
probably gone
assumptions
through
now,
some-
Brad?
No.
I'm just saying.
I am the assumption judge. We stop it right now. But I think so far I feel like it's a guy who's trying to encourage for the guys that it's gonna get better, but I'm curious to see what's gonna go next.
Yeah. Well, let's see. He's saying, trust me, it goes away. It is a bit of a mind fuck, but your focus must now turn to you. Whether you were at fault, whether you are the victim, you must accept it is over. That this was the most difficult thing for me as well. I could not accept the finality of it. And because I was a prick, I tried to force my view upon her as well. That didn't help me at all. I remember that the thought of my ex being with someone else drove me insane. I am a man, and I could not accept having to be placid when I wanted to. Does it mean flaccid?
No, placid.
Is that a word?
It is.
That means the same thing as flaccid?
No.
The hell? Okay. Let me pause. Placid means not easily upset or excited. Okay, I guess I'm the whatever. I like the word that I used earlier. Where did I leave off?
When I wanted to vent my hurt and anger.
When I wanted to vent my hurt and anger. To all of you going through this, the pain's going to go away. I promise you this. You must now start loving yourself. You're a good person. Look at you through your own eyes and not the eyes of your ex or her lawyer. Be a good person in the end, and you will be happy. Good luck. I mean,
I have an opinion.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's hear
I
it.
see this kind of post in a lot of women support groups, and I'm glad I didn't see like red flags in the video because he didn't really tell too much about why they divorced.
Yeah.
Or just like she cheated or not. I think this is a step in the right direction for support for women to talk about, for men to talk about feelings and emotions. So I saw it that way. It was a word of encouragement that, oh, it's dark, but it's going to get better, kind of. That's how I saw it.
So
He's
he
kind of a
expressed,
bit of a goofball.
yeah, he expressed what he had gone through to share with others. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Rob, give us the man opinion before I go off on this dude.
Oh, shit. What's up, Court of Random Opinion? This is
Hey.
Lauren Brady.
You got me for like 15, 20 minutes. It's got to be a quickie.
Oh, well, I don't.
Should we leave?
I only do hour long.
I'll take a quickie.
No. Stick around. Everybody join in.
No. I don't like to watch.
Jesus.
Oh, boy. I
All
don't
right,
know
Rob.
what was going on, but Brad was going to go off on this poor guy.
No, I
And he
said
had-
Rob go before I go off on him.
Oh.
No,
I'm just in time.
This dude got cheated on, and now he's trying to give advice to the other guys who may have been cheated on, and he's trying to get these guys up. And it's like, if you weren't such a bitch in the first place, she might have not left you, man.
Oh, Brad.
We're speculating on things why she cheated. Maybe she was
Yeah.
a bitch. Maybe he deserved it.
Maybe.
I had my heart ripped out, and I suffered the indignity of it all. He was cheated on.
Well, maybe he was, but how does that make
So,
him?
Isn't this like a good message of encouragement?
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, he
more
was telling us,
as a thing.
and then he gave the feedback of what he went through and then how he came out the other side. That's
Yeah.
how I interpret.
Well, to be fair, I myself have been through a divorce. I experienced what it's like to go through a divorce. I was 29 when it happened. It was like a 7-year marriage. Got married when I was 22. Dumbest thing I ever did. I ended up with a kid out of it. I went through what he's describing for a period of 2 weeks, but there was not like this. I don't know. It was more like an untangling of the families and all of the logistics. And then after that, I was like, you know what? I feel like I moved on pretty quickly. It didn't take me 10 years to figure things out. But to be fair to this guy, they were married for 17 years. That's significantly longer. There's a lot more history there. I mean, he was 41 when they got divorced. I don't know. And he's saying that he was hurt, he was scarred, he admits to behaving poorly, and then he is trying to pass on the message that, hey, whatever you're feeling, it's going to go away. It's a bit of a mind fuck. Your focus must now turn to you. Get your ass in the gym. Start eating better. Start losing weight. Go find some hobbies. Go out there and date. Go out and do things that make you happy. Forget about her. She's gone. She's going to be with whoever she's with. And you got to accept that it's over. He said that was the most difficult thing for him to do.
But doesn't really talk about changing, Omar. He doesn't really talk about changing himself. He's just giving advice to other people, right? He was a prick. He stayed in there.
Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter if he changes from 41 to 51. The point is that he's going to take his focus off of his failures and move it onwards, which is, I guess, sometimes the best thing you could do.
Yeah. Put it behind you.
Yeah. Sometimes the best mechanism to change is just to change your focal point. And then you could see the forest behind the trees and
I want
press onward.
sorry.
No, go ahead, Anita.
And I just want to also bring attention to that he's in his 50s, and I mean, my dad is in his 60s, and like just in that generation, they're not really used to opening up. To me, it looks like this guy has learned how to talk about his emotions, and him saying gents is coming from his age. I don't think he's trying to be condescending. But again, that's a person in the chat said that she cheated because he kept on saying gents, but you know,
he probably had on a fedora the whole time.
Yeah, I just saw it that way. I have
His hobbies were mini golf and hot Cheetos. How's that for speculation?
Or assuming.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's not as big of a douche as I thought. I don't think that. Look, he's fine. Good for him. He's telling people to get over their failures. There's no harm in that.
And this is what you do as well. Actually, he said it. That's what you always preach as well, right?
Yeah, I say, look, there's no point in sullying yourself over your past failures. Get your ass in the gym. Go out and date other people. Do not go on dating apps. Go and actually talk to people. Like, go talk to women. Like, go talk. Like, go get a hobby. Like, go play chess. Go play golf. Go play paintball. Get yourself in a jiu-jitsu. Go take a boxing class. Do something. Feel good about yourself. I promise you, your entire universe will change when your focus changes. And I think that that's really what this guy's whole point was. To which I got to agree. I'll just never use the word gents ever. I can't condone that. But hey, maybe it's because of his age. Maybe it isn't. He's okay in my book. He's not as douchey as I thought.
Well, you used the flaccid, not placid too. So don't forget that.
I thought flaccid would have been a better word to use in that sentence, and I stand by it.
Oh my.
Look at the
And also, your past doesn't define you unless you're Blake Lively. So
Exactly. Hey, Lauren, how you doing over there with your Sakina?
About the same as I was an hour ago, bro.
I'm just wondering what level of losing your shit are you?
I am not.
Or standing on your
I'm
soapbox?
gonna be fine.
Lauren
I just want
is
somebody to
placid.
confirm this so I can move ahead with what I want to do.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And we'll talk about what you're going to do later.
I don't need to talk about it.
You're right. Let's just have a whiskey and, you know.
No,
It's
we can
not what
talk.
we're talking about. Yeah, it's a stupid. Well, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
At any rate, what do you think about this guy using the word gents?
He won't get off that.
Omar was
mean,
offended at the very first sentence by
Ladies
him
and
using gents.
You know, gents. It's not really that big of a deal, is it? I don't think.
No, it's not. It's just a way from, you know what? I was just trying to dump on the guy, and you guys have disappointed me in coming to his defense. And so I'm just
You're gonna
going
need
to.
to get a
What the
little more
hell?
creative.
I'm shitting all over this guy, and like, no.
Yeah, but for the wrong thing, Brad. It was not
Yeah,
for the
Brad.
same thing. No,
For
to be
once,
fair.
it seems like there's another decent man in this flat. So,
All
let's
right.
encourage.
This is actually a really good question. And I'm actually really curious to get Lauren's take on this one. So, is my screen shared? Yeah. I
You
think
haven't
it is.
read it yet, have you? Because I wasn't paying attention.
No. We're just starting.
got
So, the premise is if 70% of divorces are initiated by women, and I don't know that to be a real statistic,
Off
what
the bat,
actually makes marriage worth it anymore? This guy reeks of a red pill guy. reeks of it. That's my assumption going in.
Hot.
Let's
Off the
let's see
bat
where it
is
goes.
like 70%. Why was it initiated by women? That's important key factor,
Yeah.
even if it is. So
Blame. Yep. Sounds like he's blaming.
We all keep hearing marriage is hard work. Cool. But what the hell is the work? Because if 70% of divorces are initiated by women and 40 to 50% of marriages end, then clearly someone's missing the plot. Well, could I just explain? I don't care about what your opinions are about where men and women rank on the income scale. 70 to 30 sounds about right, as in like, well, it's probably higher than like 85% of my cases, the man makes more than the woman. Which means that if you live in a community property state and you get divorced, the higher earner is going to be subject to losing more stuff. They're going to be paying alimony. They're going to be paying support. They're going to be giving up half of the things that they would have ordinarily be owned as their separate property. It's a lot more expensive for that person, no matter how you divide it, for the higher earner. And that could have a really negative impact on a man's decision to decide to get divorced or not. So just because 70% is initiated by women, if that's even a real statistic, does not tell the entire story. In other words, I don't think that all things being equal, it's women that are the ones that are most down to get divorced. You're talking about situations that have deteriorated to the point where you guys are having realistic conversations about whether or not you should get divorced. Usually that involves stuff that's going on both sides. And to the extent that we're not worried about financial penalties, perhaps the percentages could be closer to 50-50 if you take apart or take away that financial aspect of it. That's all I'm going to say about that. This guy's making some wild assumptions. Let's see where he goes with this. Perhaps someone's missing the plot. And I'm done with a fluffy advice. Just communicate more. Don't go to bed angry. Seriously, let's talk about what's actually happening. Women initiate the majority of divorces, and in many cases, they come out ahead. If there are kids, they're more likely to get custody. If there's a significant income gap, they may receive alimony or child support. If the marriage wasn't meeting emotional needs, they get peace. And socially, divorce doesn't carry the same stigma it used to. In fact, it's often framed as empowerment. Meanwhile, a lot of men lose their house, time with their kids, their mental health, sometimes even their sense of purpose. This feels like it's been written by Kevin Samuels. So I'm asking, what does a healthy, stable marriage actually look like anymore? What makes two people want to stay married? Shared finances, mutual attraction, trauma bonding, emotional safety, or
Health
is it
insurance.
health insurance? Or is it just two people gritting their teeth, pushing through the years, hoping they die before the paperwork? If love isn't enough, and let's be real, it clearly isn't, then what is? Because right now, it feels like the benefits of divorce are clearer than the benefits of marriage. And then there's an edit about feedback and stuff. First thoughts. The first person I'm going to go to is Brad, because Brad has said something very similar to this on past shows. What do you think about what this guy is saying, Brad?
It's interesting seeing him talk about this, and I'm trying to figure out where they're going with it, because he's posting on Ask Men Advice.
Yeah.
And is it somebody who's not in a relationship, somebody who's just doesn't understand the concept of marriage, the idea of being able to pledge yourself to another person to stay together? And yes, what keeps marriages together? There's a lot of inertia behind it. It's like, I can't remember a time where I was alone or single, and the thought of being without the person that I married becomes too traumatic to think about because I desperately desire to be with the person that I married.
Yeah.
I love my wife to death, and I would not hope for any day to not have her around.
Lauren, do you have
Um,
a perspective on what this guy is saying?
I don't like the first thing that sticks out to me is he sounds more mad that women are getting these supposed benefits than he is upset about the things that he feels like are perceived slights to men, to be honest. I don't know, he sounds really bitter to me.
Well, I mean, it's just, look, this is like a classic red pill mentality. Why the hell should why should I get married if I'm going to have to give her half my shit? Like, what's in it for me? Like,
I don't
why
think he
should
should
I?
get married. Is he married already?
No, I don't think
Hope
Doesn't-
not. 'Cause this is
Yeah.
not. Oh, wow.
Yeah. If he feels that way, then don't get married, man. Because you don't get married because
You're
married
Yeah.
because you're buying a slave that's gonna succumb to your every whim and make you happy in every way imaginable. That's not a wife, that's a slave, that's a concubine. And you can stay single for all of that. Because there's a lot more women that are willing to do that when you're single than when you're married. When you're married, it's more like of a shared partnership. It's a lot more like a team. Like you guys are gonna get over the attractiveness aspect of it, and you're gonna deal with real world problems, real life problems, and it's not gonna be all Cinderella living happily ever after. You're gonna have to find a way to navigate the bad stuff, and you're gonna see your partner in like the worst light. And what's the point? Like what? But he makes a point. What is the point of suffering through all of that? And really, I put a lot of thought into this question really for the last couple of decades. And really what it all boils down to is legacy. Like, who do you want to be? What do you want to leave behind? Because if the answer is you don't give a shit about having kids, you don't care about legacy, then stay single. Stay single and be happy and take trips. It's a lot cheaper to be single. You have to deal with a lot less bullshit. It's a lot easier to keep yourself happy as opposed to you and wife and children. And that goes for women too. Why would they waste time marrying some man that they don't want to sacrifice for when they could just sit there and take care of themselves? They'll make a lot more money. They won't have to worry about somebody's shitty kid. They won't have to worry about being disrespected by a man or a child. They won't have to worry about having to tend to the needs of a man and all these kinds of things if you believe in gender roles or whatnot, or whatever it is. The point is, it's a lot easier in life to just be single. It's a lot less headache inducing. It's a lot less problematic. And if you don't want to sacrifice for the sake of your legacy, look, having a legacy requires finding a partner with whom you're willing to share and sacrifice with. And if you're not down for that fight or that struggle, then yeah, you have no business getting married. It's not going to work out for you. People that get married they do it for the very specific reason because they envision building a life together with this person. And building requires a lot of breaking down. You can't build a foundation without laying the groundwork first. That requires excavation, breaking up the earth, getting all the materials, taking it all apart and putting it all back together again. And that takes a long time and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of things that you don't want to do. And so if your attitude is, what's in it for me? Nothing, man. Get the fuck out. Who said you need a wife? Go find you a concubine. They're a lot cheaper. And then you could send them home afterwards and then go get another one the next day. At some point, that's going to become old. And then what happens is men that play that game, that avail themselves of many different women over the course of time, get real sick and tired of it. It gets real boring. There's only so many times you could pretend to be interested in whatever it is that the other person at the other end of the table is saying, because you have one objective. What is to sleep with them? And then what? And how many times are you going to do that and keep yourself fulfilled in life? That has an expiration date the same way that marriage does. And so you're not going to be happy being single. You're not guaranteed to be happy being married. Nothing is guaranteed. But if you feel that it's not worth it to get married because you don't want to sacrifice all those things, then you ain't ready. Just keep being single. And then check back in with yourself in 5 years and see where you're at then. What do you think about all that, Rob?
I think he's just bitter. And he might be coming from the traditional role of marriage because everything he's saying is kind of like modernized versus falling in love, getting married at a young age, living the rest of your life together. That's why I say traditional marriage, right? From back in the day. Compared to what he's describing here, he's jaded, and maybe it's his parents that got divorced and he lived a shitty childhood. I don't know. But something about this just smells like he's comparing it to this ideal marriage and all these things that are happening in today's world. You know, he's taking it for as gospel, if you will, right? And isn't it companionship too? Marriage is someone you fall in love with or you're good friends with or whatever, and you do want to spend the rest of your life with. So the financial stuff, like you said, all this other stuff gets to the wayside. If you find somebody you want to be with, you might want to get married just to know that you are this is our commitment to each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with wanting a traditional marriage. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want, go for it, buddy.
But what he's saying is bitterness here. 70% women divorced.
Because he's been listening to too much Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuels, and all those dipshits in the red pill generation that are poisoning the minds of young men.
Yeah.
And if you listen to them, you're going to have this attitude. That's just how it is until you grow out of it and you learn how to actually be a man.
Yep.
He has the mentality of a boy. At some point, he'll grow out of it and he'll turn into a man. That day's just not today, is what it is. And so
I agree with you. Stay single. That's okay too. You don't yourself feel like you have to be married at some point, right? Choose to be an Ebenezer if you want. I don't care, but it's your fucking life. Do it, right?
Freaking Rob. But you know, breaking out Ebenezer.
What you want to do? It's your life. So why drag somebody else down just so you say that I got married, right? That's just crazy to me.
Yeah. Nita, what do you think about this guy? Imagine this guy coming up to you, like trying to hit on you. And I'd imagine he's probably like, I imagine if this is what I picture this guy doing. He walks up to a woman, the first sign that he perceives to be negative, he completely turns and like turns it into this negative thing and starts making all these negative comments to, I guess, protect from the cushion of rejection. He sounds like one of these guys, pickup artist types. Guy needs to grow up, man. That's my opinion of him. What do you think?
Anita,
I think before he grows up, he needs to get his facts straight before he does some growing up. And just when he said, let's talk about what's actually happening. Yes, let's talk about that.
Yep.
Women initiate the majority of divorces. First question, why? Have they been neglected? Have they been carrying all the weight of the marriage, all emotional and logistical weight? So it is not everybody does, but this is the thing is like biologically men are different, wired, even how they think and function. That is undeniable. Certain things. So first of all, you communicate your roles in the marriage before you get into it. First of all, second of all, you're supposed to be also friends. If you start resenting your partner, you never really loved them. I feel like that way, or you didn't love or respect them enough to communicate each other's shortcomings. So there is that. And then it says like if there are kids, they're more likely to get custody. Why? Why are they getting custody? If you were a parent who was present, who wants to be part of that, like you fight for that kid and you have proof of how involved you are, and then you get 50-50 custody, right?
Deferential judicial system wants to put the child with the mother.
No, that's not true.
Yes. No, it says like for instance, in Hungary, I know that because I have friends who've done that. Like if the parent, my friend right now, they've actually decided to do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off because 1 week on, 1 week off wasn't working. It was the kids were younger, and like they're doing 50-50 because the father wants to be involved. What kind of mother doesn't want the father not to be involved? Unless they have some like personal fights and they're so bitter and everything. So that's a different case scenario, right? So the kids are going to the mother because usually women are the ones who are staying behind. They're taking the emotional and logistical weight of organizing the kids' school, the meals and everything there. It is just nature. But also some men are also involved. More men are getting more and more involved as more men talk about the importance of being present in kids' lives. So there's that.
There was a
And
fascinating statistic I saw recently that millennial fathers are spending 3 times as much time with their children than what their Gen X or
That's
Boomer
probably
fathers spent with them.
And that's because men right now, we're finally coming to a situation just like the gent man, you know, he's speaking up, they're talking. There's an outlet to release all of these things. Like some men, maybe they didn't, like now you can scroll on social media and then like fathers have their nails painted in pink and they're proud of it. Finally, you know, they're showing this is what it's like to be a father. Now that's shown as a healthy masculinity as well, because you're so confident in who you are. You don't need, anyway, that can be another rant. But another thing, the child support, that thing that triggers me. Child support, it's your fucking child.
Yeah.
You're not doing a favor by giving child support.
Right.
Whatever you were making during the marriage, you were paying as much, contributing as much, right?
Yeah.
To that child. Why? Oh my God. Anyway, so you get the point.
Anita, the perception that's out there is that the ex-wife will live off that child support too.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to speak to that. Let me give you guys a history lesson. I'm going to go on a rant right now. So
Wait, hold on, wait.
But okay.
I got kicked off the hotel Wi-Fi, so I couldn't tell you this, but I have to go anyways.
Oh, all right. Well, we love you, Lauren. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. I love you too. Yeah, I'll see you soon.
All right. I can't speak for Hungary law, but in American law, family law used to be predicated on this principle or this assumption that women are the more matronly of the two. Children should be with the moms. And so there used to be this presumption that the children should be, that women should be the primary parents for the children in a broken home situation. And then child support and all that kind of thing. That was like 100 years ago, 120 years ago. There started to become this evolution around the 10s, 20s, 30s or 40s, where they started to recognize, with women's empowerment, they started getting more jobs, and now you have more women that were working and had careers. And it's no longer feasible to just assume that women were going to be the ones to be the primary parent. And where we had this really misogynistic view that women were supposed to be better suited to be the caregivers for the children, that started to be questioned, especially going into the 50s and 60s. And then the way that it stands right now in California, for example, is there is no presumption over man or woman and who should be the primary parent. Matter of fact, the presumption is exactly this. It is presumed to be in the best interest of the child to have frequent and continuous visits with both parents. That presumes a 50-50 custody split if possible. The reason why we don't do 50-50 splits is because it's still the case that more often than not, men are working full-time at the time of divorce and women are working part-time or not at all. Now that inevitably changes, the woman who has sacrificed her career prospects more than likely is now having to re-enter the job place, and she's still unable to match the salary of dad. And so, dad is probably going to pay some child support, and people get real sore about it. It's so unfair. Why should I have to pay child support? Why can't I just pay for what he needs? There's a lot of problems with that, but to Rob's point, there's 100% women that weaponize child support and try to keep guys as indentured servants. That does happen, but what percentage of time does it happen? Probably like 5% of the time or less. More than likely, you got two regular folks. They're raising children. They're trying their best. They have joint custody. Maybe one sees the child more than the other, but they both want to be in the child's life. And they have this formula. If you make such a certain amount of money, if your income is here and mom's income is down here, they'll consider the percentage of time with the child and it will spit out a number. That's what you pay in child support. It's not like that in every state, but many states have similar formulas like that. They try their best. Like the whole point of child support is, like Anita said, both parents need to be financially responsible for the child. Because what happens when the father's not involved, doesn't contribute financially, their only recourse may be welfare. And much more often than immigrants, the drain on federal resources or state resources happens to be mothers in broken homes that are looking for help, welfare, government benefits, or whatnot. And what's the first thing the government does in that situation? They look for the dad, and the government, the county, the state goes and puts the dad on child support, and they reimburse the county. So mom is getting checks from the government, and dad is paying the county the support that he should have been paying because the state deems that both parents shall be financially responsible. So I went on that rant only to say this, that Rob, there are many people that abuse the child support system and try to weaponize it against men, but it's a far less percentage than red pill generation would lead you to believe. If I were to venture a guess, it would be.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I were to venture a guess, I would guess that 95% of the time, child support is fair. It's the 5% of the time where you hear these horror stories. Those are the ones that make the big headlines and where people start making all these assumptions about child support laws. But from what I see in my cases, it's pretty fair.
That's good to know. I'm just letting you know what I've seen and heard and what people talk about and bitch and moan about, right? But
Yeah.
there's also the reverse on that. If the wife is making a lot of money and the husband's not,
Yep.
same calculation, right? Yeah.
They don't give a shit about gender. If mom is making more than dad, mom will be paying child support in a 50-50 custody scenario.
But
You
even
know me in movies, Kramer versus Kramer. Do you remember that? Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember that? She walked
Yes.
out, tired of it all, and he had to jump right in. First,
100%. No, it's women pay men child support all the time. Sometimes they pay them alimony. It's strictly a calculation. Who's making more? Whoever's making more is going to be on the hook. That's it. You only hear men bitch about it more because, believe it or not, men still earn more than women on average. They just do. And so they're the ones that are paying most of the time. But if you were to ask this guy, he'd probably have no idea that that was the case.
Nope.
Because he's getting all his information from Andrew Tate.
but
So-
I
he
will,
probably talked to me. I'm misinformed.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are. And it's I don't blame you for being misinformed because those are the stories that get out there and what everybody publicizes. But from what I could see, it's pretty fair. If you do it right, it's pretty fair. Can people take advantage? Of course they can. Then you get a lawyer, and then we make things right. It's what we do. It's what I'm best at. It's what I do.
But
you're
I'm-
gonna say-
And if you feel like you're being cheated and you're planning to exit, just keep track, record, and everything. Have evidence. Be smart about it. So
but I was going to say, one of the things is that law follows culture, and the law doesn't get as updated as quickly as culture moves on. So
that's true.
even as quickly as the 90s, when my parents went through divorce, it was still, and even these websites for law offices for divorce attorneys in Michigan say, traditionally in Michigan divorces, mothers were granted full custody of children after a divorce case because of the misconceptions about the ability of mothers to be able to serve.
That's probably true. And the reason for that is because judges had a lot of discretion, and just because the law changes doesn't mean that judges aren't exercising their outdated discretion. So 100%, I believe that.
There's
But-
way too much discretion on the judge's part because they're coming from their own experiences, also making
Yeah.
decisions, right?
But now it also says Michigan parenting time guidelines now state that both parents have equal right to spend time with their kids.
Right. And
Guideline.
that's becoming more and more prevalent across the 50 states. Which is we're evolving. The laws are evolving to like, look, we're going to try to make 50-50 orders if we can do it. And the only reason that we're not going to is because it's impossible because of geography or somebody's work schedule or whatnot, whatever. But we're going to do what's best for the kid. We want to make sure that dad and mom both have as much access to the child as much as reasonable. And so that's where we land with that. Anyway, I'm going to get over this red pill thing. We're going to do one more, and then I got to go.
That was a good one, Omar. I like that.
I like that one. This one's really long.
Oh,
I'm not going
crap.
to do that one. Yeah, this one's not as long, so I'm going to do this one.
I'm just
That's what she said.
making color commentary.
All right. Anita, are you down for one more?
Yep, still
Uh,
alive.
All right. The last 2 times that you've been on Flad, I think that you like petered out and like fell asleep like during the stream.
Yes.
So I'm trying my
Yes.
best to keep you engaged as much
Oh
as I
no,
can.
it's okay. I am up. I had a really lengthy nap. So apologies about that. I just when I'm
Oh, you don't
listening and
apologize. I know what
yeah.
time it is over
It
there.
is funny.
It was the snoring that got us.
Uh-huh.
The
I
snore.
listened back.
All right. So this person wants to know if they are the asshole for financially screwing over my sister after finding out she's close with my ex and his wife. What is he talking about?
What?
Financially screwing over my sister.
Usually, I wouldn't take personal advice from strangers online, but everyone in my life seems to think I'm a petty, scorned, bitter woman. And maybe I am. I just need objective advice. My ex-husband is 43. We were college sweethearts. For me, life felt perfect. I trusted him completely. That's why it was so shocking when I found out he was in love with his much younger colleague. She was around 24 at the time. I won't get into the details of how I found out, but the affair was well known at his workplace. When I confronted him, all he said was, "I'm sorry." I tried really hard not to fall for her. He didn't seem sorry at all. It felt like he wanted me to leave. So I didn't. That was 6 years ago. So our son was 4 then.
Hmm.
And it was the worst time of my life. I honestly don't know how I got through it. And because I was desperate, I wanted him to fight for me, to fight for our family, but he didn't. He was quick to sign the divorce papers, didn't even fight for custody. It was as if he had started a new life and completely erased the old one. It took years of therapy to feel normal again, to stop checking that woman's social media and comparing myself to her. The fact that she's very pretty and charming didn't help. His family loved her, and as disgusting as it sounds, one of our common friends even said it out loud. I don't support cheating, but I mean, look at her. When I told her about the cheating, I guess that's what everyone was thinking. This one was just stupid enough to voice it out. So I had to cut off that group of friends too. They got married 3 years ago. Now they have a daughter, a picture perfect little family. The current arrangement is that our son stays with my ex on weekends and holidays, which works fine for the most part. Last week, I found out that my sister has been in touch with my ex all these years. That would have been forgivable since they were close when we were married and she saw him as a brother, but she's actually best friends with his new wife, and she kept it from me for 6 years. I only found out because she left her phone at my house, and I saw several texts from the wife. When I asked her about it, she just brushed it off, said it wasn't a big deal. I told her she can do what she wants, but I will be cutting her off completely. I was helping her pay her college loans and going no contact. She called me unreasonable and said I'm being petty and unable to move on from something that happened a long time ago. She also said the wife is a lovely person and a good friend. She said she will be fucked financially speaking. I told her to go fuck herself. Somehow my parents agree with her. So am I the asshole?
Go back to the title again, because that went in a completely different direction than I was expecting.
It was a poorly written title, I agree. Financially screwing over my sister after finding out she's close with my ex and his wife.
Okay, I get it now.
All right. I don't want to say that she's the asshole, but she's kind of a dick.
To
She
keep
is the asshole.
financial support. Yeah.
No, actually no. Sorry, she's not the asshole.
I
My
mean, she
own
doesn't have to
sister,
give her-
my own blood.
Well, it's
No,
not like she's sleeping with her brother, though, to be fair.
I think that's okay. That's not word. That's not better, but
I mean, she says that they had a good relationship before. Why wouldn't he be friends
no,
with?
I think the betrayal comes of not talking about it or not telling her for 6 years. It's not that's happening. I think that's a much bigger betrayal.
The sister not telling her sister of the ex, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah.
It's
Did I
like
say that right?
like especially she knew my sister as a sister. Forget about the financing part.
Yeah.
Like she knows how hard it was for me, and maybe she could have helped me integrate or like feel better about it. This was happening behind her back. They were hanging out behind her back. And yes, she can have good relationship with that, but I don't know. I think it's disrespectful from her sister. But the fact that she didn't talk about it for 6 years, and while I was financing her life, because she
Yeah.
knew she was doing something wrong. Otherwise, why would she hide it?
Well, maybe maybe she doesn't believe she's doing anything wrong, but she knows knowledge of it would hurt her sister. Maybe both of those thoughts exist in the same space.
I disagree with that part.
I'll agree with that, but you have to remember also she's kind of taking advantage of her sister because she still continues to accept monies for her college loan.
That's the part.
Yeah, there's a mix there, right?
So why is she paying her sister's college loans when she herself is 20 years outside of college? Because they didn't say how old she was, but if we're going in the general wheelhouse, I would say she's no older or younger than. So she's 40, her sister's 28. Her sister's been out of college for 6 years, roughly, if we go by the standard college term.
It takes most people to pay off like 10 to 20 years to pay off their student loans.
Right.
Yep.
But there's a difference between I haven't found a job yet and I'm paying your student loans for 6 years afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole debate to go about why college is so expensive right now, but then there's also the piece of stupid kids choosing stupid degrees that don't pay anything after college. And the idea that her sister can be friends with her ex for a long period of time, and then if she knew about the possible cheating and didn't tell her sister, and then believes that it's perfectly fine to be friends with her ex, his new wife, and then be able to still say, but I still want you to pay for my college. No, that's horseshit. She is not the asshole. She can tell her sister, then why don't you ask your friends to pay for your college loans if you think if they're so much better.
Well, that's why I said that. I don't think she's an asshole. I think she's just kind of a dick.
The sister.
Right. Because like she could very well say, look, I can't afford, I'm not going to pay off. I'm going to stand on principle. I'm not going to pay your college loans. You're going to have to take care of that yourself. But the fact that she's like tying it to like this wayward event that happened in her life that's dealing with her ex and his new wife and their new kid, that's like kind of Cruella de Vil-ish. I can't speak against it, and it just feels kind of dickish to me. It's like if that's
imagine put it in your brother's shoes, or put it that way. You were paying, like, imagine if you were in that situation where your ex-wife.
I would never tell my brother who to be friends with, even if it was my ex.
No, but it's not about. That's the whole point. It's not like she told them. She hid it from her for 6 years while she knew how she felt about this whole thing, and was buddies while also.
Well, let's talk about
benefiting.
That. Yeah, because to me, that's the more striking thing is that why she's still so affected by this. Obviously, she was like really hurt by the entire thing. It was this really traumatic thing that's happened to her that's carried over into various aspects of her life that she's held on to for years. Everybody's moved on except for her. She's still living in this event. And if she's not careful, she's going to wind up 63, still talking about it and still sour about it and unable to move on. It's going to ruin her life.
Because the problem is even though she went to therapy for the initial breakup, the fact that she's finding out new information that she didn't have after the therapy can re-injure the old wounds that she had.
Well, I'm not a therapist and I don't give a shit about that. The point is, and that's probably true, but the point is, like, look, it feels like whatever therapy she had, if she's this sore about the knowledge that her sister still has a friendship with her ex and happens to be friends with his new wife, which, by the way, she's kind of related to because the child, isn't that like her niece?
Yeah.
And so they're tied together.
You're not entitled to my child just because you're my niece. Like, that's your niece. But first of all, I understand what you're saying.
It's not niece at all.
I highly disagree because here she gave the backstory about I don't think she said it in a way that, oh, I can't believe he cheated on me. He gave the backstory of how traumatic all the events went. And my sister did this, hid it from me for 6 years. I don't think the point of that story was that I'm not over it. It was showing that how traumatic it was for her, and her sister hid it from her. I think that was the point of sharing of that story. So she was saying that, oh, we have the kids arrangement.
Yeah.
It works fine. And then suddenly she finds this information.
So all
So
this
in order for them to
information is
get
all
to that good
background.
point.
Yes.
Sorry?
It's all background to get to the point you're getting at, right? She told this story here is the
Like-
background behind where she's at with her sister, kind of thing.
Yeah, because as her sister, she should have known how bad it was for her. Yes, it's like she's moved on in that sense that the kids right now, they have an arrangement. She gave the story, this is how things work. And then if she just said out of the blue, just said that, oh, my sister is friends with my ex who cheated on me, and, you know, didn't give the backstory of how hurtful her ex-husband was, it's trying to show the sister knew how bad it was for her. Sorry, I'm running in circles, but I'm trying to get my point across.
Well, everybody agrees with you, so I think you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
LCS says, Omar, I strongly disagree. And then she says, I don't think that you are not understanding. Then she means I don't understand. Missy says, I'm with Anita. I think the problem is, it's not that I don't understand. It's just that if I put myself in her position, I don't care about any of that shit. It's just not important. It would never be important to me. But that's me not looking at it objectively. I'm just, I don't understand the hurt that she feels. And you're probably right with all of that. If this lady was a man, and maybe this speaks to the way that I was raised, perhaps my toxic masculinity or whatever, I would tell this guy to stop being a little bitch, get his ass into the gym, let it go. It's none of your business.
What guy?
Well, if she was a man, if this guy was a man and it was telling me the same story, that's what I would be telling him.
Yeah.
The fact that she's sore about this, I can't pretend to understand her feelings. And
She's sore about her sister, not about the guy.
I get it.
She's sore about her sister. Sorry.
No, I get it. She's sore about her sister. I would not be sore in the same way. Maybe I would. But even if, let's just assume that she was a man who was sore about his brother, I would tell him to get over it, and you're kind of being ridiculous.
I mean, there's a number of sayings in Spanish, sangre sobre la familia, or blood over family. There's so many things that phrases that people will say that.
By the way, I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that I am not saying that I'm right in my assessment. I'm not saying that I have the right. Maybe that's a personal flaw with me. That would be my instinct to tell that guy to get over it. People are saying like sisters don't lie like that to each other. I'm not sure if I view it as because it's not a direct lie. So she's not letting her
omission of lie in the court of law is also a lie.
I know. I know. I just feel like I'm not sure that she had like bad intentions with
what
it.
Do you mean? Sorry.
I didn't want to hurt her sister. Like I feel like even if it was dumb logic, she just didn't want to say anything because she knew her sister was sore about it, and so she didn't say anything. And now her sister's found out. She shouldn't have found out, and now she has.
Calling her sore loser.
She
was not sore about it. She got over it in that sense that no, I'm gonna, whoever you are, woman, I'm gonna fight for you. Omar,
I'm really making people angry. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let Anita take over for this one.
Well, it's because you're changing the roles, Omar, and I hope you understand.
Omar, she said in the beginning, sorry, Rob, she said that the husband said that, oh yeah, people were saying, oh, she's pretty. She felt like she was made feel bad for this divorce really badly. So it was a traumatic event. Yeah. And then they got to a point. So her sister had witnessed how badly she was humiliated in this whole thing by her husband and by people around. So a sister not telling that, oh, by the way, I am best friends with the woman and your husband. You can be friends. I will say that, oh, it's my niece, or you can have that conversation. The fact that for 6 years, 6 years, 6 fucking years, COVID was 2 years, and that felt so long. For 6 years, your best friend as a sister, there's a bond that you don't Like, that is insane.
I guess. And look, I'm not saying that I have the right perspective, and you guys are all probably right. It's a shitty thing to do, but I guess she has a decision to make. She's best friends with her sister. She has this special relationship with her sister and blood over water and all that kind of stuff. She could hold a grudge and cut her off or not. And life is short.
It is not a grudge.
It's going to turn into one. Right now, it's not a grudge,
No,
but 5 years from now,
well,
it will be.
if her sister doesn't apologize, and like, it's not a grudge if the sister belittles how she's feeling while like she's paying for her college, the sister's like, oh,
Yeah.
just get over it, you're being petty. It's not like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were gonna get hurt.
It's skin
That
in
was
the game.
nothing. They doubled down on this poor lady. So if they had a different approach and then they talked to that, oh, I understand they were scared to hurt. No, that is not the conversation that happened. They said, oh, get over it, minimizing what I went through. So fuck you. I don't care if you're my sister. You're cut off.
Jen, do not throw your phone. LCS, all the people agreeing with Anita, do not. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just playing. I guess I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, you're
'cause
taking
we're-
the role of if it was a man divorced from his wife.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm done with the man thing. Like, I'm just. If she were to like talk to me about this, I would ask her these questions, and then she would say it's really important to her, and I would probably say, okay, I mean, if it's that important to you, then I will support. Well, I can't tell you how to feel. I could tell you what I think. This is what I think. But if it means that much to you, then I'm not going to discount and dismiss your feelings.
You already did by the way you spoke about it.
Well, that was just me speaking
Thank
candidly,
you.
but I'm now recanting. You know, I'm saying you can feel however you want. I will not dismiss how you feel. I'm just saying I was just asking questions. That's all. I've been overruled. That doesn't happen very often in the chat where people's like, bullshit, Omar, fuck you, you're wrong. I'm gonna throw my phone, I'm yelling at my TV. Jesus. I was just throwing stuff out there. I was just spitballing.
So, Omar, you talk about toxic masculinity from your childhood, but you're also a lawyer of what, 36, 37 years now?
No, not that long. Jesus, I hope not. I hope
But
never.
that also impacts your perspective, correct?
Well,
you know what I mean? You have a core, but
and I'll tell you how
it
does. I'll tell you how it impacts it. Because imagine being a family law attorney.
Yeah.
Every single day, people come to me with stories exactly like this. And every single day, people tell me about how this person did that and that person did this and this person is evil and I can never forgive and I can never do. And I'm thinking, gosh, man, at some point, like you hear it so much, it's not that I become calloused. It's just that I'm 44 years old now and I have some perspective. And like, I've seen the way that these feelings grow inside of people and completely take over their lives. They lose years over their lives over this thing. And the first thing I picked up on was it's been years since this lady has dealt with this and it's still hurting her to this degree. And so I was just wondering out loud if there are like some unresolved things that are still going on that haven't healed, that have not allowed her to move on to the point where she's having this visceral. I'm just trying to understand the reaction, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And so my perspective in dealing with nothing but people's worst over the last 11 years is I always ask, is it really worth this level of emotion that I should feed into this anger or this hurt? Or could I just not?
There's
She's
two words
hurt because of the sister, not because of the husband in the
It
situation.
doesn't matter who it's from. It doesn't matter if it's sister or the husband.
Context. Just like Baldoni's suit, context matters.
If the answer
like
is
you
yes.
saw it firsthand.
Yes. But I guess my point is, if I ask that question, is it worth holding on to this emotion, whether it's from the husband or from the sister or for whoever? If the answer is yes, then hold on to it then, for as long as you need to, until you don't have to anymore.
I think she should just cut her off and say, fuck all of you, you're all out. Yes, I think that should be the outcome. But the reason why she's doing that is not. Okay.
But if
No,
I rest
anything,
I rest
you're
my case. Just
now
read the
I'm
chat. I rest my
mansplaining.
case.
not that I'm disagreeing with Anita, but I will say
Oh,
that
boy.
in ridding yourself of one grudge, you're creating another in the sister.
Oh my gosh, Omar mansplaining for women to move on. I was not trying. You know what? I'm not gonna explain anything now. How about that?
I manscape, but I don't mansplain. You know,
He
I'm not
wasn't
trying to tell this
mansplaining.
lady how to.
TMI,
That's
There-
being-
Rob.
wait, there's two words. There's festering and smoldering, right? Those are two very key words that can be under this woman's skin for 6 years. Something, and that's what your point was. Is this something you really want to hold on to or have part of your life that's going to fester into something more elaborate, like Brad said, or smolder till the fire sparks and then boom, you blow up, right? That's the same concept. You're just asking them up front to say, is this something that you feel that strongly about, that you're willing to A, give up your sister, or B, give up this or whatever? And if
Yeah.
the answer is yes, okay. That's your decision. It's your, your how you want to live your life. But
If the
are the words that came
sister
out.
came and said, I know I hurt you, I would be on board with what you're saying. But
Yeah.
the sister, they went on to minimize how she, this is, oh, guys, are we forgetting what we read? What happened to
No.
this poor lady? Sorry, I'm
It was really
exaggerating.
shitty what happened to her. Like the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing was awful.
And it
Yep.
would be different when they came and they said, okay, this was not right, but we did it because we were scared, because it was so hard. This is not what happened. She's not festering into this like a grudge.
Right.
If she cuts the people of her life who don't think what she went through is valid, that's
Yeah.
the whole point. I think she should move on. She should be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I thought you were my sister. I thought we were loyal. And then sisters can make up later. But for the moment, she's not in the wrong for what she's doing.
Right.
Because
Just
it was
so you
not
know.
like, it is not holding a grudge. It is actually mirroring how she has treated her. She
My
has so that's what I was trying to say. But I do agree that you shouldn't hold onto a grudge or something, but she should literally be like, this is how I've been treated, so I'm going to mirror that. So why would I give more to the person who doesn't give me, at least I give money to the person who doesn't even want to respect me by telling me
Schnitzel would say
truth.
they need to communicate, right? Schnitzel would say they need to communicate, they need to talk to each other, should have been talking to each other and being honest, right?
No,
That's
she reserves that for people in relationships. Communication in relationships is, paramount to save the relationship. But
sister,
at this point,
right?
the sister
And
didn't
the
value
sister-
the relationship to begin with, and that's the problem.
Yes, thank you, Brad.
My mom has chimed in. My mom says, I don't think it was a betrayal not telling the sister she had communications with her ex and his wife. I think she was protecting her sister's feelings.
Yeah,
That's
but the
my mom
sister didn't
mansplaining.
say that.
That's
The
sweet.
problem is that
That's sweet, Mom.
that's the thing. We agree. If that was the case, this would have been a different conversation. They
Yeah.
doubled down and said that stop being a whiny bitch. That's what told her, and pay my school fees. That's what she said. Like,
Right. Whiny bitch.
that's what they told her.
Oh,
I'm gonna
boy.
speak Omar's language from now on.
No,
I don't mind that.
it's
Oh, Omar, I would love to hear your wife's perspective.
From
Unless
what?
she agrees with you.
Oh, she would agree with me.
He always agrees with
I feel like she
Damn it.
would. I just feel like she would. I don't know. But I'm not. I'm not trying. You know what? I don't want to be accused of mansplaining. Could I just?
No,
You've
that
already
was
been
not cool.
accused
That was
of
not
it.
cool. I disagree with whoever
you
said
need to
that.
back it up.
I am just saying. I have no idea. I'm not trying to tell this lady how to feel. I'm just asking her if it's worth it. And if she tells me that it's worth it, then I'll stand behind her. That's all.
And I tried to support you with that. I did try to support you with that. I said, you presented her with your view of the situation. And if she wants to accept it and that's what she's okay with, good luck. That's I'll support. I agree.
The wife says she agrees with Anita, so I'm wrong. There you go.
Ooh.
I got Mrs. Tilted
Anita,
Lawyer on my side.
Omar's going to write the next one next week now. We're going to read some more.
My wife agrees with Anita.
So
What
I
should I
was
do?
accused of mansplaining, and I don't know how to feel about it. I've been married for a long time. And I feel like this is bullshit.
And we'll all rip it apart.
You know, there's the bro code, there's a sister code.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about my approach to anything because it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, well, like I said, I feel like I've said what I got to say.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it does
Daniel,
matter.
disagree
Sorry, I
with
didn't
me
mean to
there?
attack. I was just fighting for
I
this
don't
woman's
mind.
right.
I don't mind a
equality.
little
We're
kerfuffle.
about equality, right, Anita? It's equality. Women and men, same thing.
Yeah. Well, folks, it's been like an hour and a half, and it's like 7:30 over here. Is about to be. I think it's time to wrap up. I got to get home.
That was good.
I'm going to be traveling to Phoenix tomorrow. I may do a live stream late at night. By late, I'm talking like midnight, or I may not. I probably won't. But I'm going to be on stage with Zach and Andy and Lauren and myself and Clayton Eckert at the Phoenix Improv. And we're going to be hanging out over there around 6:00 on Sunday nights. And there's going to be all kinds of shenanigans going on. So
Sounds like
look
it.
forward to that.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I'm fucking going, just so you know. I just need to get
I
there.
guess I'll see you there then.
Yeah. You call it the Phoenix Improv. I've looked it up. There's 3 different ones with different names, like Desert.
Well, I don't even know which one it is. It's the one that we're going to be at, I guess. We'll get the things
driving
out.
around the state of the city of Phoenix. Omar, Lauren.
Anyway, I love you folks. I will see you guys all next time. Have a wonderful weekend and be safe out there. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
And